Alright, we are live at 11:05. And here we are. Larry and the other Larry, both the Larrys, I'm sure you're both anxious to see something. We've got a rear panel that I'll have Josh, you need to send Larry a picture of his rear panel. So, Larry, we got Larry 2. One of you is Larry 1 and one of you is Larry 2. But we're going to call this Larry and it's one of the two. So I'm BC, Spirit Cars. This is live at 11:05. Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, behind the camera there. Working on Larry's tall T. And last couple of days we've been talking about a 34, building a 34 chassis off the jig and doing, and this is the way we do it and blah, blah, blah. Well, this is not the way we do it, but is the way we do it. We've been working on this one. Larry came in with the tall T. A body from another manufacturer. This is a welding blanket, in case you're wondering. It doesn't get splattered and the weld doesn't go through it, but it's nice to have a welding blanket. So we've been fitting up the front end here, and this is a front cross member that we had to relocate totally. I mean, it's just, we wanted the car to sit down, or the axle to sit down on the frame, and the body needed the right stance. Obviously the car's upside down now. It's easy if you can work on your car this way, especially if you get a Spirit body. We can show you pictures of upside down car in a ditch. It didn't have very much damage at all. But if you can get your car upside down when you're doing something like this, it's a lot easier to see what's going on. So anyway, we got the front cross member made. Normally this would have been welded on the top side here. We kind of squared it up just because it looks good this way. It's reinforced good. We can set the radiator now and put the radiator tabs here. Radiator, of course, will come this direction. And it should have the right height for the cowl section. Smooth this around. Got it looking good. What we did, normally the spring is going to sit down in here, into this pocket by about a ½ inch. So what we've done, we wanted a little bit more height, so we put just a piece of steel under here, and we raised the whole spring up a little bit more. So we've got the height we want. We know that because we had it turned over and all that. Yesterday we were talking about on the 34 had a 4-link setup, which was parallel. You got four rods, 2 on each side. They come along parallel. This here you have a radius rod setup. Big issue on radius rods, I mean, this would be a tip that if you're ever putting a car together, front end together with radius rods, whenever you put this, you've got clevises on both ends, and these are adjustable. And you can adjust these clevises back and forth to get your right angle on the axle for your caster. If you put a bolt in this side and you've got your radius rod bolted in this side, the bolt should go right through into your bracket on this side. If it doesn't, you have to pick it up a little bit or push it down a little bit. It's pretty easy to do. I know you can push it down and put that bolt in there, but what's going to happen is you're going to turn your whole frame into a torsion bar, and it'll lean one way or another. So if its bolt is not going in, just pushing right through, go ahead and adjust out or adjust in one of your clevises until it gets lined up. Now this isn't like a lot of the panhard rods. They'll have a left-hand, right-hand thread where you just twist the rod and you don't have to take it apart. You will need to take it apart, actually twist it out a little bit or twist it in and then put it back together, but that's not that big a deal. So Larry, if you can see upside down, there you go. I'm liking it pretty good. We're going to put some frame horns on here. We haven't fit the rack yet. It gets a half rack, but I think the half rack is going to work just fine. How come we only have, well, we need different steering arms? I'm gonna need 2 holes in one of these steering arms, so we may need a different steering arm. So coming back, yesterday we had a triangulated 4-link on our 34, and this one we've got kind of a ladder bar setup. And you can see we fit it. It's a narrow rear end, so we've tubbed the body itself.
I'll just stop you real quick. See this, since this is a different kind of setup, see the end there? That screws in.
Oh, okay.
So you see your half rack?
All right.
So it goes in the tie rod, but then it goes.
So this is my second hole here. So
Yep.
a lot of times your steering arm will have the two holes in it,
Yes.
but this one has got, you know, basically 2 holes here, so that'll work there.
Yep. So it's just a little different setup since it's a spring behind. I got Thomas the train rolling through here.
Yeah. We'll have shock mounts. None of that's put on the front end yet, but we've got our back set up. You can kind of see from the back here. We knew the height. Sean had made some brackets here. Definitely temporary, but he welded them on. Getting everything squared up is very important. He put some tubing that he cut half round so it could sit in it, tacked it on. So we actually literally tacked this rear end to the frame. We have everything square. We know we have it square. That way when we put the radius rods to the front of the rods to the front here, we know where the bracket goes. Again, you've got adjustment on your 2 clevises here to get the bolt to line up here. Pretty much the same principle. You don't want it to have to pry it up or down. You want it to set right in. Now what we're in the process of mounting the coilovers. So we've made this bracket, and it'll be an adjustable bracket. It'll give you 3 different heights. So we'll fit it in. We're having to make a bracket here, but we can incorporate our existing bracket, and it'll come out for your coilover down here. We'll have a good angle there. So we're getting pretty close. I'm sure Larry's going to have a comment or two. Is Larry watching yet?
Yeah, he says, I hope I don't get it upside down.
We just hope you don't turn it upside down after you get it. So that would be a bad thing, but I think it's looking good. What do you think, Larry? Well, talk to me now, because I'm sure we'll be talking to me later.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. So we got the wheels on. I mean, I'm liking the wheels. If you can kind of picture this car upside down, it's looking pretty good. So the next thing what we'll do is after we get everything lined up on this and kind of figured out, and again, we talked a whole lot about jig built the other day and the last couple days. You do not have to jig build a car to build a car. None of this was jig built. We started with a car, and then we decided here's the frame we want to go under it. We decided what type of front end, or Larry decided, and we just went along with his direction. He decided what kind of rear end he wanted, how he wanted ladder bars, he wanted this type of a rear end, he wanted the different things. So once you get your components and you know what you want in there, it's just about being, I mean, you want to be straight, you want to be true, you want to be, you know, you don't want to be all twisted and out of whack. A real good way to measure, to know if you're square, and this is kind of, I guess, common sense, but you can always triangulate it. If I want to measure and make sure I'm square, I can go from the corner up here to the corner over on this side. And then the corner, if I go the opposite direction, the corner there to the corner on this side, it should be the same number. If it's not the same number, you've either got a diamond in it or it's just out of square. So that's a good measurement you'll need. You know, as well as the length. I mean, the length of the two rails need to be the same. The same back here, that we want to make sure that even though we got a cross member here, we want to make sure that we're square on our little pickup. So we made sure all that's square. We made sure we fit it into the body, that everything is going to fit clear here. So what will happen at this point is it's going to come apart. It's going to, chassis will get turned over. Everything will get welded and finish welded. Make sure we got everything what we need as far as brackets. The brakes are going to line up. But I'll go ahead and finish the body work on the bottom. Larry had some tail lights, really cool tail lights. We added all this to it. Now we can kind of see what we've got back here. We've got a little space. I had enough room to get a bolt in before, but we can clean up some of the edges. So it really helps to have the car upside down. And when we build the car, we like it to look nice on the bottom. I mean, nice enough where if you get under there, you don't see any flaws. It's just, if you're going to have your car judged, the judges do like to see that. So I don't know if we got that very much information for anybody except for Larry, but I bet Larry's pretty excited. And the next couple days, next week sometime, you'll probably see this on the ground. And Larry 1 or 2, whichever the other Larry with the coupe is, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have probably some video of that one next week. We got that coming together. We got some wiring coming together for next week on a 27, a turnkey we're going to do, and then we've got I think we're going to have a guest appearance by Michelangelo. Isn't he coming by? We've got a turnkey going on that's going to have some True Fire flames on it. And I believe he's going to be the one doing the flames, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what day and time yet.
But it may not be at 11 o'clock, but whenever Michael comes by, we may do a video with him on the True Fire flames. So if you don't catch it at 11:05, it'll be up on the website. Very talented guy. He's done a lot of work for us, and that should be very interesting. And he does good video too. He's very, very good at instructional stuff. And what else we got coming up next week? I mean, we got a lot of projects going on, that's for sure. A little bit on the Model A Roadster, maybe. We got a 32.5 window coming together. We may show some of that.
We can show the 34 done next week.
34 done. We'll have upholstery all finished on that
I don't know
next
if people
week.
can see, but you can see the headliner on the top. He's about ready to glue in.
So just check us out next week. Have a good weekend. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and give you the end of the show, which is a thought for the day. Pass it on by Ernie, the Hot Rod Man.
People are asking if you're going to dress up for Halloween next week for a show.
Well, I do need to get my Make America Great Again hat, so I can make my surprise endorsement come a couple days before the election. But I need to get that ordered, and I may be able to get I don't know. Remember when the old Nixon masks were real popular?
Get you one of those anonymous masks.
Yeah, I'll get an anonymous mask. So if you see somebody doing this show with an anonymous mask with Make America Great Again, it's not me. It'll be Josh, and I'll be behind the camera on that day. So let me see what it says here. An interest properly fed can grow into a beautiful talent. So an interest properly fed can grow into a beautiful talent. And honestly, that's a pretty true statement. I was kind of interested in high school about building cars. It was always been fun. And I don't know how talented I am now, but almost 50-some years later, I guess it is what I know how to do. I don't know how to do a whole lot of things, but I guess I know how to build a car somewhat. So we're glad you're with us today. I'll go work on my Halloween costume.